Okay, it strikes me that before we start talking about the first paragraph of Azrienoch's book, it would do us well to learn a little vocabulary lesson. I want to keep these videos nice and short so that they don't get boring in the middle. And so I'll just do a short vocabulary lesson before I launch into a discussion of Azrienoch's first chapter. Okay, the phrase that we're going to learn today is propositional attitudes. Okay, so what is a propositional attitude? Now let me approach this by telling a little story. Okay, suppose Randy and Azrienoch are in love with the same woman. Okay, let's give this woman a name. Let's call her Hypatia. So now say me and Azrienoch are in the park and we're discussing his book, for example, and Azrienoch's cell phone rings, and it's a call from Hypatia. At this point, both Azrienoch and I will acquire something known as a propositional attitude, right? The propositional attitude that I will acquire is Randy fears that Hypatia loves Azrienoch. The propositional attitude that Azrienoch will acquire is Azrienoch hopes that Hypatia loves Azrienoch. Now, both of our propositional attitudes have one thing in common, and that would be the proposition Hypatia loves Azrienoch. However, both of our propositional attitudes have something that is not in common. I fear this proposition, and Azrienoch hopes this proposition. And for our viewers who are red-green colorblind, I'll include this slide. So, that's what a propositional attitude really is. It's an attitude towards a sentence, a proposition, something that can be true or false, and it's just an attitude that you take towards it. Okay, so how will this help us, understand Azrienoch's book? Well, it turns out that propositional attitudes will come in pairs. And this is called, dichotomies, right? So the first dichotomy we've already seen, a fear-hope dichotomy. The second one is, almost every propositional attitude comes in like this. The next one would be like proved or disproved, loved, hated, this kind of thing, right? Now, in philosophy, what are the favorite propositional attitudes that philosophers use? This would be, true and false dichotomy, believe and disbelieve dichotomy, maybe a justified or unjustified dichotomy, something like that. So, for example, say you are a biologist. You are interested in, sentences which are true about life. Say you are a mathematician. You are interested in sentences which are true about numbers. Say you're a theologian. You're interested in what you should believe or what you should disbelieve about God. So this is why these propositional attitudes have been so used. Now, Azrienoch's philosophy, paradigm, viewpoint, or what he's advocating in this book is something called acceptism. And acceptism's, if you want to just like say what is acceptism's elevator pitch, what is acceptism in a nutshell for dummies? Now that we know what propositional attitudes are, it's quite easy to state. All right. Basically, what Azrienoch is saying is that the favorite propositional attitudes, which philosophy's used for the past, 2,000 years, are just been done to death, and they're boring now. It's not like it's, invalid anymore. We're not like throwing out the true-false dichotomy or whether you believe something or disbelieve something. But what Azrienoch is proposing is we just simply think about a different propositional attitude for a while. And since the name of this name of this paradigm is acceptism, I think it's probably pretty easy to guess what the propositional attitude would be. Uh, Basically, let's explore the ramifications of this dichotomy, the acceptable, unacceptable dichotomy. Now, this is a very interesting stance to take. It kind of like reconfigures how we are viewing philosophy, and it kind of like sets things up just a little bit differently. It's a little bit different viewpoint from which to come from. So I was trying to think of other parallels to this sort of reconfiguring that Azrienoch is trying to pull off here. And the closest I could come is the philosophy of Donald Davidson, who, he's exploring a different kind of a propositional attitude. The propositional attitude he really takes as being basic in some sense is the a propositional attitude between actually two sentences. Which sentence I prefer to be true? Now, this would give you in some sort of like a into value judgments and things like that. So you're like training a rat in a maze or something, right? And you want to know which the rat would prefer to be true. Would it prefer to get electric shock, or would it prefer to get a cookie? And once you know this, you can train the rat in the maze and all this kind of stuff. But even that's not really changing one dichotomy for another. It's changing one propositional attitude for something which is not really a dichotomy. So I really think that Azrienoch's proposal here that he's giving in this book is quite unique and is very creative. I think his creativity of the first order and well worth exploring. So I'll leave you for there, and next issue of this thing we'll dive finally into the first paragraph of Azrienoch's book.